3 one-score games. All 3 teams. The Chiefs could easily be 0-3 right now. They really could. I would love to live in a world where the Chiefs are 0-3. Open up the AFC a little bit, give us some real intrigue. But no one wants to do anything about it.
Carlin versus Joe, presented by Progressive Insurance. Save on commercial auto insurance from Progressive. Get a fast quote at progressivecommercial.com. We mentioned the Dolphins losing another quarterback. So what are they going to do there next? It's Carlin versus Joe on ESPN Radio.
Football Sunday on ESPN Radio. Both the Patriots and 49ers started the season 1-0, but have lost 2 straight. Now they're desperate for a win, and they go head-to-head in Santa Clara this weekend.
Purdy tries to get the edge, crossing the goal line, scores!
The Patriots at the 49ers. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern on select ESPN radio stations.
Brought to you by Barbasol Shaving Cream, delivering a quality shave at an honest value for over 100 years.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
With NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you can watch the most live NFL games all in one place, which means you can watch the Rams and the Colts and the Vikings and the Bengals and the Buccaneers and the Chargers, or whoever you're rooting for, all in your living room. But not literally, of course. That would be dangerous. Watch every game every Sunday with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. Sign up at youtube.com/NFLST. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games.
At your job, do you ever have to deal with a nose roller? How about a snub pulley? Well, if you're installing a new conveyor belt system, dealing with the different components can sound like you're speaking a foreign language. Luckily, you've got a team ready to help. Grainger's technical product specialists are fluent in maintenance, repair, and operations. So whenever you want to talk shop, just reach out. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Every fan knows the right player in the right position can be a game changer. Put LifeLock between your identity and identity thieves to monitor and alert you to threats you could miss. Plus, with a U.S.-based restoration specialist on your team, you won't have to face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or other losses from identity theft alone. All backed by the LifeLock $1 Million Protection Package. Change the game on identity theft. Save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com/sports.
What up, y'all? It's Joe Budden, here to talk about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money while watching football. You can get up to 100 times your money.
Right now, Prize Picks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Just download the Prize Picks Daily Fantasy app and use code OT. That's code OT on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play a $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Traveling with your furry friends can be rough. Just getting them to come along is difficult enough, so the last thing you want to worry about is finding a place to stay. But when you choose Baymont by Wyndham, your four-legged companions are invited because they know pets are family too. At Baymont by Wyndham, pets are not just welcome, they're VIPs. Baymont by Wyndham. Come on in. So glad you're here. Book now at wyndhamhotels.com/Baymont.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper thing.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
The Woj bomb to end all Woj bombs, literally and figuratively. He is going back to his alma mater, St. Bonaventure. All the reporters who were in that line of work are so driven to have the story first. It's such a part of their DNA of what they do. I had a similar job to that on a microscopic level, comparatively speaking, for a very short time when I covered sports in Chicago. And I can tell you, it almost gave me an ulcer. He's the best ever to do it, man. I've been in the sports media one way or another since 1990. And in that time, no one has done a job better than he has done his. I'm not saying he's better than everybody else. I'm saying no one else is better at their job than he has been at his. I wish him nothing but the best. And I'm really happy for him that he's making this decision. Very few of us get to go out on top.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Weekday mornings at 10 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can watch and listen on the ESPN app. On ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. Carlin versus Joe. Pizza money alert.
Pizza, pizza. Final two props for you. Jaguars-Bills game. Evan Ingram out for the Jaguars, so backup tight end Brenton Strange. Two props, over 2.5 receptions, over 24.5 receiving yards. Buffalo's defense plays a lot of that too high safety, right? They're not looking to give up the home run. So what can you do? You can kind of gash them underneath. If you're willing to take what they give you, you can slice them up and move down the field. I don't know if Jacksonville will be smart enough to do that, but I'm betting that they will be, because opposing tight ends going into this game have had a lot of success against the Bills. They're averaging 10.5 targets, 7 receptions, and 51 receiving yards per game through 2 games. How much more could you want right there? Strange stepped in for Evan Ingram last week, 3 catches on 6 targets for 65 yards. So final 2 pizza monies of the night. Brenton Strange over 2.5 receptions and over 24.5 receiving yards in tonight's matchup against Buffalo.
Breaking news.
Dave Canales has announced that Andy Dalton will start in week 4.
Oh, how about that?
Big surprise.
Yeah, bit of a pins and needles situation there, but there we go. We have it.
There you go. Carlin versus Joe, ESPN Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 80. We mentioned the Dolphins last segment and the mess that continues at quarterback. First of all, lengthy story written today in the Miami Herald by Barry Jackson regarding what the long-term prospects are for a player like Tua with concussions, and talked to several doctors and all that kind of stuff. Basically, what it boils down to is if you are going to move forward with Tua, if he wants to play, you had better have a really good backup in place, because each time this happens, it's longer and longer that he's going to miss. Joe, I think we have established that the Dolphins needed to have a really good and perhaps durable backup in place, and right now they do not have that, as Skylar Thompson was knocked out yesterday with a chest injury, and they are back to Tim Boyle.
I'm curious as to how they found themselves in this situation, knowing full well that the injury risk with Tua is higher than almost any quarterback in the NFL. Like, you knew enough to take out an insurance policy on his contract. Why not take out an insurance policy on his position and have someone who could step in? Now, it sounds easier said than done, right? We're not talking about having Hostetler step in for the Giants and lead you to the Super Bowl, or Foles stepping in for the Eagles and lead you to the Super Bowl. But it feels like every time Tua goes down, it's just the Dolphins turn to a bunch of guys who can't play the position at all, and they end up scoring 3 points a night, and they can't move the ball down the field, and the offense just sputters to this horrific stop. Like, what's wrong with having a backup? Like, San Francisco had Sam Darnold last year, right? Like, he was a backup. Gardner Minshew's constantly floating around in the NFL. Like, he can play a little bit. How is it Miami, with the most injury-prone quarterback in the NFL, never thought to figure out how to ensure that position by bringing in a guy who could at least play a little bit? No one's talking about a guy that can step in and win 7 or 8 games. But damn, man, it seems like they really overlooked something like that.
You know, and not to get too far into the weeds on the insurance part of it, but just to speak to your point there, the Dolphins, in terms of the insurance that they were able to get on Tua's deal, when you compare it to other deals for other quarterbacks like Dak Prescott, the percentage of money they were able to get insured was infinitely less. So in other words, Insurance companies were super worried about him getting hurt.
Yeah, we all knew the risk. Like, the risk was there. It was evident. Everyone, it was obvious. There's nothing secretive about it. So if you went about your business without insuring that position to at least have someone that could step in for a couple games, like, what was it? Kansas City had Chad Henne step in, I think it was. Yep. Okay.
They've got Carson Wentz now backing him up in case. Yeah.
Henne is not going to the Hall of Fame. But in a playoff game against Jacksonville, in a really tricky spot, Henne came in and managed the game just well enough to win it. Just well enough to get by Jacksonville. Now, I don't know, was that the year that the Chiefs beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl? Was that 2 years ago, or was that enough?
It was 2 years ago, I thought.
So, yeah, I think they go on to win the Super Bowl. Like, that's an insurance policy. That's a team thinking one step down the line. Oh, by the way, it's the same team that also was well aware of the new overtime rules. When they found out in the Super Bowl they were going to overtime, they didn't panic like San Francisco did. Like, think about that. Buttoned up, detail-oriented. Speaking of buttoned up, we're not on TV anymore. You got a lot of machismo hanging out today, if I may say. That thing is wide open.
A little more room. It's getting warm in here.
That thing is wide open up top.
Well, listen. Normally,
this is not Copacabana Beach, my friend.
I mean, I can go. It's only one extra button right now.
I was going to say though, it's just the lapel is spread so wide. I see up on the TV. I'm like, where are we going after this, Travolta?
No, listen, the lights in this room get a little warm. I don't know if you know this.
The lights.
I tend to run a little warm from a temperature standpoint. So, yeah, I mean, I could do it shirtless if you wanted.
No. We don't need to.
We always joke that when it's not on video anymore after 2 p.m. Eastern, okay, we can take off our pants now.
Pants off. No need to be professional anymore. I tried to get the show out on the lawn in the springtime here at ESPN. Just set up like some beach chairs, and we'd be out there in swim trunks having a good old time. Got laughed at pretty quickly. It wasn't even acknowledged. I was like, maybe this could be interesting. It was laughed at, and then the bosses just walked away from me.
I'm surprised that somebody even lifted up their head to listen.
Yeah, you could tell once I finished getting the thought out of my mouth. The other person was instantly regretting having stopped to acknowledge what it was I had to say. It was one of those things where it's like, if I had just kept walking and been rude to him, that would have been better than having wasted my time listening to this stupid idea.
I got to give you 2 things from the weekend, by the way, that we haven't
Any
talked
more speeding tickets?
Well, that's one. After the show on Friday, and then Saturday at the game, mainly Saturday, on 3 different occasions, nobody that was affiliated with Rutgers or Virginia Tech in any way. 3 different people. I guess they saw fat, bald Rutgers shirt, and they operated under the assumption that it might be me. 3 different people. Hey, sorry about that speeding ticket, bub.
Wait a minute, they gave you a bub?
No, I just threw that.
Oh, okay.
That was a little bit of hyperbole with the bub. But definitely 3 different people, love the show, listening to the show, were huge in Blacksburg. They can't get enough.
Were they Tech people?
No.
The Rutgers fans?
No, they were. I'm sorry. When you said Tech people, I'm thinking, no, were they people who were working on the broadcast? No, they weren't. They were VOD Tech.
No, why would I say Tech in regards to Virginia Tech? How would that make any sense?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are they Silicon Valley people?
Yeah. Was it Peter Thiel? Was it Peter Thiel and Mark Zuckerberg at the Virginia Tech Rutgers game that came up to you to talk about your speeding tickets?
Oh, my God. It's Larry Ellison. He's a big listener.
Tim Cook from Apple, what are you doing in Blacksburg for this meaningless game?
Well, I heard about your speeding ticket. No, 3 different Virginia Tech fans.
Well,
absolutely.
If you're out there, we appreciate you listening. And
absolutely.
On behalf of the entire show, apologies for this lunatic driving through your state at breakneck speeds. Feel free to do whatever you need to do about it.
I also thought of you the other day because just had so many little different things going at the same time that were just handled with absolute panic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and we always talk about being calm. Like, not only am I thinking about you at the end of the game about whether or not they're going to cover, but secondly, I'm thinking about, oh, God, you know what? Fortenbaugh would hate this.
I got to be honest. My brain has been so wired for panic that on these vacations where I sit down and just try to look out at a lake, I can't even do it. It's all been ruined. Like, the ability to relax is just, it's gone. I need panic. There is so much panic in my life at every turn. If I'm not panicking, I feel like I'm not living. Everything's too calm. It's like, here, have a cup of coffee and sit down. I can't. There's too much to do. You're off today. Like, it doesn't even process.
Not even remotely.
Not at all.
Wow.
Not at all. That's the life. That's why everyone's like, oh, no, you're not going to do well in retirement. Oh, I'm going to do great in retirement. I'll be gambling in retirement. Don't worry about me.
Hey, break late. Everybody knows this.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
On October 21st, 2006, Michigan State found themselves down 38-3 with less than 10 minutes to go in the third quarter, and they made that initial deficit like it never even happened, scoring 38 straight points to win 41-38.
Incomplete. The ball game is over. The Michigan State Spartans in one of the greatest comebacks in Michigan State football history.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
Gear up for game day with GNC. Just like your favorite college team prepares for their matchup each week, you can get ready to crush your fitness goals with GNC. Your coaches are in stores, ready to help you build muscle like a linebacker or slim down after a tough season. They have everything you need, including all the top brands, the new flavors you crave, the hottest protein, pre-workouts, creatine, and more to tackle your fitness goals. Don't wait for the final whistle. Fuel your fitness at GNC. Visit your local GNC or GNC.com today.
It's time for a Monday Night Football double feature on ESPN at 7:15 and AFC Showdown as Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars face off against Josh Allen and the Bills in Buffalo. And on ABC at 8, it's rookie Jaden Daniels under the Monday Night Lights as the Commanders enter the jungle to take on Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Jaguars-Bills tonight at 7:15 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Commanders-Bengals at 8 on ABC.
The hunt for October continues on ESPN Radio.
A three-run homer for Pete Alonso.
The last week of the regular season is here, and the race for the final 2 National League playoff spots is coming down to the wire. And 2 teams in the thick of it go head-to-head when the New York Mets face the Atlanta Braves. The Mets at the Braves. Coverage begins tomorrow and Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern, with first pitch at 7:20 Eastern on ESPN Radio. This is Freddie and Harry.
Matthew in Kansas.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. and Mrs. Douglas. Happy birthday to you.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Hey guys, Kevin Clark here from a This Is Football podcast from Omaha Productions. This week, Devin McCourty joins me to discuss what defenses are doing to make these quarterbacks look so bad. Nick Underhill joins Talk about the Red Hot Saints, and Seth Walter breaks down the best stats through week 2. This is football, wherever you get your podcast.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Canty's former teammates, Eli Manning. You knew him as a football teammate. Give us a scouting report, Eli.
He was a guy that had a great attitude, big smile, great work ethic, brought the teams together, offense and defense, and so it's a great leader and competitor and a big part of us winning a championship.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
I'm Clinton Yates, kiddos, host of the podcast ESPN Daily. Every weekday morning, I'll bring you the best sports story you'll hear all day. Today on ESPN Daily. Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow seeks his first win of the season tonight against the Commanders. Ryan Hawkinsmith takes us back to the moment that he almost abandoned football forever and how Burrow achieved the comeback he did to be the football player he is today. That's ESPN Daily. Follow us and listen wherever you get good podcasts.
ESPN coverage presented by Mercedes-Benz.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. MRI revealed Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold has no structural damage in his injured knee. He is expected expected to be fine Sunday against the Packers. Along with Minnesota, the Chiefs, one of the NFL's 4 3-0 teams. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes, though not pleased with how he's played the first few games of the season, which has included 4 interceptions. He spoke last night of getting back to his fundamentals, putting teammates in the right position, and executing at a higher level offensively. Pro Football Hall of Famer and First Take co-host Shannon Sharp.
This is how you get better. This is how you're not fooled by a record, because fans just look at the record. Whether you know we go in there and we evaluate everything. You're constantly striving, trying to get better. This is why the Chiefs will always be a problem. This is why Patrick Mahomes is who Patrick Mahomes is.
Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers' oblique strain remains questionable against Mississippi State Saturday. Arch Manning starts again if Ewers is out. Georgia hopeful that star defensive end Michael Williams can return from an ankle injury Saturday at Alabama. He hasn't played since getting hurt in the season opener.
Why pay more for a great shave? Choose Barbasol, America's #1 brand of shaving cream. Barbasol's thick and rich lather gives you a close, comfortable shave for just half the price of gels. Barbasol.
From Studio 2 at the worldwide headquarters of ESPN.
No doubt.
And the HD studio in Atlanta, Georgia.
Absolutely.
This is Freddie and Harry.
The Dallas Cowboys defense, they're a bunch of front runners. If they win on first down, you're screwed. They were never able to win on first down. As a matter of fact, every time you looked around, it was second and short of 1st and 10 once again. If you allow the Dallas Cowboys defense to play ahead, that's going to be a problem. If you play ahead of the Dallas Cowboys, then it's a problem for them because they don't have enough wide bodies up front.
Isaiah Likely, the tight end to the left. It gives to Derrick Henry, running right up the middle. He's got a hole. He's to the 15. Henry to the 10. The 5. Touchdown, Ravens! The train is rolling, and the King scores again!
This is Freddie and Harry.
And greetings and salutations, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the best show on your radio. You know it better as Freddie and Harry with my man Harry Douglas. I'm Freddie Coleman. We're presented by Progressive Insurance on the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80, as well as tune in. And don't forget to tell your smart speaker to play ESPN Radio. We both have some serious kind of weekends going on here. First things first, Harry Douglas, congratulations again, going in the Ring of Honor. You were all over the place. Great interview. Louisville won the game for you against Georgia Tech. You were looking resplendent. First early in the day with the purple jacket on, and then the blue suit with your beautiful wife and your beautiful parents. And as you're getting the jersey holding above your head, they were yelling, Harry, 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 Harry. So once again, brother, congratulations on having a better person. You know how much we love you and you know how much we appreciate you. Really, really cool to see that happening for you on Saturday afternoon.
Freddie, unbelievable weekend. And shout out to everyone in the city of Louisville, from the university to the football program, family that I have up there, my mom and dad, my wife, my friends that made the trip as well. It was just a surreal moment. Media members up there that, I have relationships with since I went to the university and went to college there. It was just a great moment, a great time the entire weekend. Got a chance to, have 2 separate dinners, one with the family, one with other people. Right. Seen some people that I knew when I was in college as well. But just being able to, in person, embrace the fans.
Absolutely.
And Freddie, I made it a point, man, like everybody that wanted a picture during the game, man, I'm going up in the stands and I'm taking pictures with people just because, those people welcomed me when I was a 17, 18-year-old, boy becoming a man back in 2003. And they allowed the city of Louisville to be a home away from home for me as well. So I wanted to make sure that I paid them back. And everyone that asked me for an autograph or a picture, they were getting it from me on Saturday. And no better way to finish it, though, with Louisville beating Georgia Tech. And, man, I was on the sideline screaming. Y'all don't know this, but I've been working on my voice the last day and a half.
Okay.
Because I was on the side. I told myself I wasn't going to be screaming because I need my voice.
Sure.
But when the game is going on and it's getting to the nitty-gritty, we blocked a punt and returned that thing for a touchdown. And, man, the voice left me. It left me. I was too excited. And my wife, she was sitting up top and she was looking down. She was like, and when I went back up and seen her, she was like, you can't help it. She was like, you can't help it. Like, it's just so ingrained in you.
Absolutely.
And she's 100% right.
And by the way, as the old line goes, you can do what you want to do, but you got to be who you are. And you're going to be who you are. And especially when we had 2 encounters this weekend. Number one, I had a chance to go to the Big E, which is a big fair that they have in West Springfield, Massachusetts, each and every year. Believe me, people come from all over the place. If you want to be full and fat, go to any kind of fair like that. Me and the missus are full and fat after Sunday. But I got to give a special shout out to Paul, Kevin, and Riley from Leaf Guard. They had their own exhibit at the Big E. They're big fans of what we do. They're big fans of our show. So I want to shout those guys out who came up to me and said, man, you're Freddie Coleman. We listen to Freddie and Harry all the time, man. You guys kick behind and take names on TV when you guys get a chance to do that. So I got to shout them out. But your fan encounter was different because it involved you at an airport, involving a husband and wife, and I'm stepping out and let you go and take the rest of the story.
Oh, yeah, I was getting off the plane, and the guy came up, hey, Harry, I listen to the show every day. You know, his wife like, yes, he does. but the entire time in Louisville, though, like so many people that came up to me, whether it was That Boy Bad and them watching me on Get Up or them listening to Freddie and Harry 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. On ESPN radio every single day, it was, man, for me, it was heartwarming and heartfelt because, you know, even though you might not be in front of people every single day, they could still feel connected to you, and I felt connected to them when they were, you know, showing me how much they love our radio show and listen to us every single day. And it was like, boy, y'all keep it real. I said, that's the only way we're going to be on Freddie and Harry is keep it real.
Yeah, there'll be no fugazis on this show. There's no doubt about it. That's not how we get down. As a matter of fact, you don't have to worry about faking the funk and the nasty dunk. Be a part of the Freddie and Harry connection on the Dr. Pepper calling line. We would love to hear from you, especially when it comes to this. What's the one word that best describes your NFL team after 3 weeks? 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. Oh, Harry's going to share about the Falcons. I'm going to share about my Jets and Cowboys. But what's the one word that best describes your NFL team after 3 weeks? 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. ESPN Nation presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste and ice cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a Pepper thing. Before we move on, I know that two people shall remain nameless, Shannon Penn and Devin Kane. We finally get a chance, Harry Douglas, to celebrate their no longer poor, winless Giants. We got to let them give some love. So Shannon Penn, Devin Kane, kick that off. The one word that best describes your NFL team that are no longer among the defeateds. They actually got to win this week against the Cleveland Browns. Shannon Penn first.
Hold on 1 second. Raise your hand if your team won on Sunday.
Right now, my wife is raising her hand too.
Oh,
that's a Giants fan. She's doing the same thing right
sorry,
now.
Freddie, my bad.
You're not sorry.
So the word for me is win.
Well, you know what, Shannon? I am raising my hand. You didn't say which team, college or NFL. You said if your team won this weekend.
Wow.
Sunday. I said if your team won on Sunday.
Oh, okay, I didn't listen well.
You didn't want to listen. You heard, but you didn't listen as far as that goes. Devin Kane, one word described the Giants team, no longer part of the defeateds.
AFC team.
Wide receiver.
That's 2 words.
Definitely. Just say receiver, Dale.
Man, one thing I know, right?
Receiver, that's it. Just say receiver.
One thing I know with this Giants team, I don't know. There's a lot of things they need help with.
Right.
They got a wide receiver.
Yeah.
They got a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
That's that much I know.
Yeah,
True story.
They got 2 hymns right there at Malik Neighbors and Dexter Lawrence when it comes to that. Like we mentioned, the one word that best describes your NFL team after 3 weeks, 888-729-3776.
The main thing, the main thing.
The main thing, the main thing.
The main thing, the main thing.
The main thing, the main thing. The main thing with Freddie and Harry.
Oh, I'm going to use one word regarding my Dallas Cowboys. And it starts with the run defense, and it starts with P and rhymes with putrid. Putrid, because that's what they've been the last couple of weeks when it comes to that run defense. Harry, we tried to warn them. Baltimore Ravens trying to find their identity. Nothing says find your identity than a team who can't stop what you used to do well that you didn't do the first couple of weeks. And that's the Baltimore Ravens. So what did they do? They said, all right, coach, what's the game plan for today? I just see the word run on the blackboard. What about the pass? All right, go run around the building, give me 20. They ran for 274 yards. Derrick Henry, $151, 2 touchdowns. Now, the Cowboys tried to call it a comeback. They wound up losing 20-25. But as usual, we warn people, you're too light in the britches on defense, on the defensive line at linebackers, and you better fix that. Good luck trying to fix that or try to at least hatch it up the rest of the season because the blueprint is there, and right now the Cowboys are powerless to stop anybody who wants to run the football, especially down their throats and up the middle.
Well, when it comes to stopping the run, I think it's best to describe the Dallas Cowboys defense like this. They need some milk. And I mean a lot of it. And Freddie, I don't think this is going to change. I don't think this is going to be something that the Dallas Cowboys can fix, because we're talking about the same thing, not just this season, but 2023, 2022, the inability to stop the run game. And when teams can impose their will on this Dallas Cowboy defense, they've had problems with that consistently over the years.
Right.
So I don't think, what's the magician's name? What we call these magicians?
Houdini.
Houdini's not showing up.
No.
And mysteriously, it's going to change for the Dallas Cowboys because the personnel is not going to change. And I can't help but think about the games that they had last season when those teams dominated them, the Buffalo Bills. And Josh Allen didn't barely even have to pass the football in that matchup up in Buffalo. Or in the playoff game when Jordan Love and Aaron Jones got off. Aaron Jones had his way rushing the football. That offensive line of Green Bay was climbing to the second level, climbing on backers who were too light in the britches. Right, to be able to stop the run. And then you look at last week versus the New Orleans Saints when New Orleans rushed for the football 39 times for 190 yards and 4 touchdowns. And then you follow that up with Baltimore, who's known for the physicality now. Even though Baltimore's been struggling with their identity this season, you knew coming into this matchup, they watched and seen what happened to you, the Dallas Cowboys, last week versus New Orleans. And Derrick Henry, the king, where's my crown? I don't even know where it's at. The king was going to get the football. And Freddie, I got all questions last week. Is Derrick Henry going to prove that Jerry Jones should have signed him this offseason?
Of course.
And the one thing I said was that depends on Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator.
That is true.
And Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator, didn't let the Baltimore Ravens down as an organization, didn't let the Ravens fans down, didn't let Derrick Henry down, didn't let Lamar Jackson down. And I look at their first drive of the game. They had 5 plays, right? 4 to 5 plays were run plays. If that doesn't tell you what you're in store for to begin a game or how it's going to be all day long as a Dallas Cowboys defense, then you're sadly mistaken. The proof is in the pudding.
Absolutely.
You just didn't have no damn spoon, right? You trying to eat the pudding with your tongue in your mouth. Son, go get a spoon to eat the pudding with because the proof was in there.
Well, believe me, they had their tongues wagging, like during the game, because they were tired of getting their butts worn out by the Ravens offense. And then, of course, being the Dallas Cowboys, who they are, I'd like to say they're MATE team. Mouth almighty, tongue everlasting. Because as soon as the game was over, all the excuses. First, Jerry Jones talking about, we couldn't afford to pay Derrick Henry.
We couldn't afford Derrick Henry. Why not? you could. Yeah. I don't know. Why can't you buy a mansion when you live in a different kind of house? We couldn't afford it. You can't make that all fit. It's as simple as that.
So if that wasn't bad enough about why they could not sign Derrick Henry in the offseason, then you have Micah Parsons all of a sudden talking about we needed more people from the Hall of Justice because there are too many Supermans out here.
I think right now we got people just trying to be Superman. People just got on their jobs, bro. We don't need everyone to be Superman. We don't need no Supermans at all. We just need 11 guys playing together.
How do you not get people to play Superman, like you said, or try to make those super heroic plays?
Bro, I have no idea. Like, I'm going to be real, like I said, like, I really believe we're being tested.
I don't mind transparency, but the two people should not be transparent all the time. That one person is Jerry Jones, the Cowboys owner, and the other is Micah Parsons. Not in the business of telling grown men what to do here on Freddie and Harry. Harry Douglas, Freddie coming together on ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance. But I have 2 words for Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones. Stop talking. Do something. Stop running your mouth and trying to say we're being too much Superman here or guys that are doing this there, because DeMarcus Lawrence had enough of that on the sidelines of Micah Parsons. He was like, look, aren't we all in this together? And he told him to shut the bleep up. Micah Parsons, I'm with you. Stop talking. I know you're trying to motivate people, Micah Parsons, and I'm not saying that you weren't doing your job yesterday, but everything's going to fall on you because you keep running your mouth all the time. I know you're a leader on this football team, but at a certain point in big situations, you got to make a play. You got to find a way to get around guys. You got to lead by example. You got to have 2 guys trying to block you and not being blocked. Running your mouth all the time, it backs up what I always said about the Cowboys, and I'm a Cowboys fan. They're freaking front runners. When they went on first down, they run their mouth. All of a sudden, they're crawling on the ground. They're sacking the quarterback. They're getting everybody riled up. How many times, Judge, we see 1st and 8, 1st and 5, 2nd and 2? We've seen that last couple of weeks. I'm tired of guys running their mouth and being mouth almighty, tongue everlasting when you've been a championship-less organization since 1995. Jerry Jones, Micah Parsons, 2 words from Freddie Coleman. Stop talking and do something, because that's all I've heard from the Cowboys for the last 3-4 years, for the last 300 years, with this team not winning a championship.
Freddie, I do believe there's a way to do everything. There's a way to get the attention of your teammates. There's a way to, tell guys that they have to be better. And I think for Michael Parsons, I don't feel like every time something goes wrong for the Dallas Cowboys that he has to address that and, put it out there in the media. It's okay if you need to, because if you're the big bad wolf on your football team, you should be able to go to any and everybody at any given time, no matter what the circumstances are, and say what you need to say. And hey, if they feel some type of way, it is what it is, but it doesn't carry over to the meeting room, to the weight room, when you're out there in walkthroughs, when you're at practice, nor should it carry over to the game. But here's my thing also about Michael Parsons. We heard you speak last week. And if you didn't get through last week, what make you think you're going to get through this week?
Thank you.
Because y'all just got boat raced last week by the New Orleans Saints, and they had their way with you. Yep, they laid you across their lap and they spanked you. And when I look at the first 5 possessions of the Baltimore Ravens yesterday, they did the same thing, because 3 of the first 5 drives were touchdowns. And Derrick Henry imposed his will. We're talking about an offensive line in which the first 2 games of the year for the Baltimore Ravens that we were talking about are not a good unit.
Absolutely.
But they look like a damn good unit yesterday. Now, it collectively, do guys got to be better? Do you have to do your job 100%? That's why I always say, Freddie, one band, one sound. We move in unison. Like, if I move, you move. If Shannon move, we all move. Like, we do everything together for a reason, because when you don't, you're going to have that dysfunction. And that's what I'm seeing for the Dallas Cowboys. But I will tell you this. After everything that happened yesterday, they easily could have laid down. They still fought and made it a football game. And in this one safety, let me tell you about Donovan Wilson, because I'm watching this film. Donovan Wilson been taking some mysterious angles, man. He did last week down in the red zone area when it came to Alvin Kamara.
Yep.
And I seen a mysterious angle this week when Lamar Jackson scored on his touchdown. Or either it's a mysterious angle, or you're not reading your keys properly.
Right. Or you don't know what you're doing. Exactly. Yeah. Here's the deal to what you said about one band, one sound, because when the Ravens blew that lead last week against the Las Vegas Raiders, anybody pointing fingers?
Nope.
Too many Supermen? No. This week, Dallas Cowboys, once again, ignore what Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones had to say about why they couldn't acquire Derrick Henry or too many Supermen. They will all do any kind of business to pay heed to this guy named Dak Prescott.
Us as players, we've got to be more professional and understand our jobs, understand where we're supposed to be, and do that time and time again and keep our focus.
You said be more professional. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, but by knowing where you're supposed to be, knowing your reads, knowing where you're supposed to line up, knowing your routes, knowing your route adjustments versus certain coverages. Every part of what being a professional is, it's doing your job and being prepared for every part of the job, however it may come. So time away from the building to being in the building, just being a pro and understanding that you can only get so many practice reps, but you can watch the film, you can do all these other things that will help make up for it. And we just got to be more focused.
So I would never, ever, ever make an excuse for somebody who was not prepared. Freddie, when I played, my greatest fear as a player was not knowing my information and letting my teammates down because I didn't study properly or I didn't know my plays or anything that fell in that category.
Right.
See, when these guys are getting paid entirely too much money to not know what they're doing.
Exactly.
It's your job.
Yes.
And it's not just supposed to happen when you're at the facility. See, during the season when your old lady want to go hey honey, let's go have date night at this movie. No, baby. We can't have date night at this movie during the season. Date night for the movie is in the off season. See, these are conversations you got to have with your significant other before the season starts. So it's no issue when the season is here. I remember we had a young rook. During playoff football, we had all kind of plays in the game plan for him. My wife said, I seen such and such at the mall today. So I had to go to Rook the next morning. Hey, man, you can go to mall with your old lady when the season's over with. We up here naming plays after you, and you getting here and practicing. You don't even know what the plays are, and we naming it after you. So, see, I had to check Rook right then and there.
Yeah, there's a way to call out guys, the way that Dak Prescott did it compared to the way that Micah Parsons did it. Micah Parsons, I know everything. I'm doing my job. You guys not doing your job. Dak was like, we need to be more professional. Guys need to know where they have to be in this building and outside the building. It's not hard. And believe me, Micah Parsons is great for Sports Talk Radio. He gives you something to always talk about.
Oh, we love him.
Yeah, exactly, because he's never going to back away. He's going to stand on business, and he's going to speak his mind. I applaud it. There's a way to do it, because anytime you spoke in your mind, it hasn't ended well for your team. To me, that's the definition of insanity, the way he speaks his mind. He does it time and time again, and what happens? They get blown out by Green Bay. They get blown out by the Saints. They can't beat San Francisco, and they let the Baltimore Ravens just trample them like bulls on parade in Pamplona, like when the tourists are trying to get out of the way. At a certain point, stop talking. And if you're going to talk, make sure you communicate it properly to the dudes that you believe are not stepping up to your level. And there's a way to do that where I don't need to know about it, Harry doesn't need to know about it, Coach Herman doesn't need to know about it. Just do it. Stop talking and start producing.
And Freddie, I would say this, right? And I don't know if he did this or not, but just in case he didn't, right? You know, before the media comes in the locker room, you have that moment with your coaches and whatnot. And if anything needs to be said, it's said right then and there. I'm fine with him in front of the entire team saying it, though. Say it right then and there.
Right then and there.
Right,
Absolutely.
so you don't have to microphone and do it. Now, and every now and then it might be okay.
Yeah.
But it can't be every time things go wrong, you're saying this to the media in a microphone and just giving us that ammo.
Yeah. It's I don't have a drinking problem with this damn team. Seriously. Maybe I need a 12-step program away from this team because they're driving me out of my mind.
I got some tequila over here for you. What you like?
I'm probably going to need something stronger than that. Dealing with this season 1990.
I got some moonshine down there,
I said stronger, not illegal.
Okay. All right. Got some moonshine.
I want something strong, not something going to put me 6 feet under. I
just got back from Louisville now. You know they make that moonshine.
I don't want toes standing, going straight up. Based on Harry looking on my coffin going, man, I told him to take it easy.
Not the whole bottle. My goodness.
Goodness gracious. He's Harry Douglas and Freddie Coleman together on Freddie and Harry. Thanks for joining us on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80, as well as tune in. Always tell your smart speaker to play ESPN Radio. Give us that one word that best describes your NFL team. After 3 weeks, we want to hear from you. The Dr. Pepper call line at 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. What's the one word that best describes your NFL team after 3 weeks? You heard how I feel about my Cowboys. How does Harry Douglas feel about his Atlanta Falcons? All that next on Freddie and Harry and ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Tuesday, I'm still not over how bad the Cowboys were on Sunday, and I'll tell you why. It'll have a lingering impact on the rest of their season. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Hey, football fans, with BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you're a facilities manager at a warehouse and your HVAC system goes down, it can turn up the heat, literally. But don't sweat it, Grainger has you covered. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products for all your operations, including warehouse HVAC maintenance. And even better, they offer access to experts and fast delivery, so you and your warehouse can both keep your cool. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Every fan knows the right player in the right position can be a game changer. Put LifeLock between your identity and identity thieves to monitor and alert you to threats you could miss. Plus, with a U.S.-based restoration specialist on your team, you won't have to face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or other losses from identity theft alone. All backed by the LifeLock $1 Million Protection Package. Change the game on identity theft. Save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com/sports.
What up, y'all? It's Joe Budden, here to talk about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money while watching football. You can get up to 100 times your money.
Right now, Prize Picks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Just download the Prize Picks Daily Fantasy app and use code OT. That's code OT on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play a $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Looking for hometown hospitality and a good night's sleep but don't know where to go? Stay at Baymont by Wyndham, where there's always room for you. Immediately, you're welcomed with a warm smile and a free chocolate chip cookie. They have all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay, including complimentary Wi-Fi to share those memorable moments with friends and family or handle those urgent work emails. Whether it's for business or leisure, they've got you covered. Baymont by Wyndham. Come on in. So glad you're here. Book now at wyndhamhotels.com/Baymont.
The Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny.
I'd say the spin zone silver lining for Malik Neighbors is Daniel Jones appears to be so bad that there will be no doubt about quarterback situation. We're going to start talking not too long into the season about whether or not they actually switch to lock to avoid triggering the injury guarantee. Dable was like, I don't know, it's week to week about him. It's week one, man. Like, that's brutal.
Check out The Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Tweens have mastered the art of tuning out. Jen, there's a spider in the car. We're turning your room into a home gym. See? Nothing. But some messages need to get through. Like making sure they're buckled up the whole ride, every time. Do whatever it takes to make your child listen. Jen, I friended your boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Buckle up, sweetie.
Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Amber and Ian.
Who's to blame, Ian, for the collapse that is the Philadelphia Eagles last night?
Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
It was a brilliant play call. Dial it up. 3rd and 3. Atlanta has no timeouts. Get the first down. Game's over. And that's a pass he's caught 1,000 times. I mean, you put it right in his hands. You paid a lot of money to make that play. It was wide open. Jalen Hurts put it right on him. Catch the football.
Amber and Ian. Weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on SiriusXM Channel 80. Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
You don't have to go to the club all the time once you get into your 30s, 40s, and beyond, but that does not mean that you have graduated out of it just because you're an adult with bills to pay and real responsibilities. I would argue that you need it even more than ever, just like we as adults need naps just as much as kindergartners do.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
I got all the eyes on me. Center stage is all or nothing.
Here we go, y'all. This is it. 8 teams left, all aiming for that shit.
Mark from the logo. Domination from the New York Liberty.
Have a night. See.
The journey to the top starts here.
Las Vegas Aces on top again.
That girl's incredible. She's something special. I know.
The WNBA playoffs, presented by Google on the networks of ESPN.
Chris Carlin, Joe Fortenbaugh. This is Carlin versus Joe.
Why would another high draft pick quarterback in the age of NIL ever agree to play for David Tepper and the Carolina Panthers? He has shown he is somebody that will ruin careers very quickly. He has done it on the coaching front, and now he is doing it on the player front.
Carlin versus Joe. Weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and on SiriusXM Channel 80.
Are you ready to build your company's dream team? Just like in sports, finding skilled players is essential for success. With Robert Half's winning combination of specialized recruiting professionals and award-winning AI, we'll help you find the MVPs and key role players who will have you hanging banners in the rafters. Because in business, it's all about having the experienced team on your side. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
We are back, and we are looking at a pretty lopsided matchup, Jim.
That's right, Ron. I mean, in one corner, we've got a 175-pound guy, and in the other, a 6,000-ton heavyweight train.
Jim, this guy has no idea what he's getting himself into.
It's no contest. Every day, people tempt fate and die trespassing on railroad tracks. See tracks? Think train.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
Something amazing is happening in business. More companies are turning to Mac. From finance to fulfillment, CDW will seamlessly support Mac integration into your organization. With the power of Apple Silicon, best-in-class security, and compatibility across your favorite apps, your team will have the performance they need and the tools they love. Make amazing happen. Mac and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/Apple.
I'm Christine Lisi. An MRI revealed that Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold has no structural damage in his injured knee. He is expected to be fine for Sunday when undefeated Minnesota takes on Green Bay. Raiders coach Antonio Pierce blasted some of his players for their effort in the embarrassing loss to Carolina in their home opener. While not specifically naming them, Pierce was critical of some players for making what he called business decisions they made on the field. He said the team will make business decisions as well going forward, and certain players will feel that impact, explains ESPN's Herm Edwards.
He's a physical, tough guy, and if you don't play like that and that's on the film and you're putting it on tape, he's going to make sure you don't put it on tape anymore. You're going to be standing by him. Now, there's only so much you can do in the NFL because you only have so many players, right? But he sent the message. You're going to make business decisions? I'll make a business decision. My business decision is have you sitting over here. That hurts the player's pocketbook.
Herm Edwards on Carlin versus Joe. Quarterback Quinn Ewers' oblique strain remains questionable for top-ranked Texas's SEC debut Saturday against Mississippi State. Arch Manning makes his second straight start if Ewers can't play.
Here's one stat that's super simple to remember. Discover automatically doubles the cash back on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cashback Match. With Discover, you could turn $150 cash back to $300. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
It's time to put on for your city.
Wow, the city is our city.
From the local vibes, food scene, and a unique spirit. Hey, man. It's Reggae Monday with Freddie and Harry.
I got to say, why, baby, why you took my sunshine? Why you took my sunshine?
Yeah, Harry Douglas may be singing that song after the referees did that to his Atlanta Falcons. He's Harry Douglas. I'm Freddie Coleman on the Reggae Monday edition of Freddie and Harry. Thanks for joining us on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, and Sirius XM Channel 80. We're going to get to the one word that Harry Douglas would use about his Atlanta Falcons, but what about you?
You heard from us.
I love talking.
Now it's your turn to weigh in.
Hello, you're on the air.
1-888-SAY-ESPN.
Hello?
1-888-729-3776.
We want to hear from you. What's the one word that best describes your NFL team after 3 weeks and why? As a Cowboys fan, I have two. Stop talking. I'm tired of that when it comes to Dallas Cowboys. They do a lot of fat mouthing, but they don't win when it's all said and done. What about you? 888-729-3776. The one word that best describes your NFL team after 3 weeks. Don in Dallas, who's that NFL team, and what's the one word you use to describe them and why?
Hey, guys, I'm going to need a safe space for this one here because, I divorced the Cowboys, but the organization is still my favorite team.
Okay.
So my one word is petition. Freddie, we have to start a petition to get Jerry Jones out of there. I don't know if y'all saw the video because this is way worse than the play on the field. The video of Jamie Foxx at training camp where Jerry had to say in that video.
I know.
Dude, yeah. I told y'all I questioned their relationship, him and Dak Prescott, so if this dude is over here watching, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, Man, like, hey, matter of fact, Harry takes Freddie's shoestrings. Have somebody take Freddie's shoestrings and his belt, anything that he can hang himself with, because that's just bad, bro.
Yeah, just all around bad for the Dallas Cowboys across the board.
Oh, my goodness.
Tighten up, Jerry.
Yeah, put it this way. That word petition is not a bad idea. The only problem with that is, Don, we know that Jerry Jones, other than the commissioner, Roger Goodell, is the most powerful man in the National Football League.
Yeah.
There's not enough petitions in the world. The only way Jerry Jones is going to move on from his team is he seizes control of somebody else, because he is completely unable to handle that team on a week-by-week, second-by-second basis. Until that happens, that's just going to be the way it is. One of our favorites is Mardi Gras Bob in New Orleans, or as we say, Nolans. MGB, we know you are a Saints fan, so what's the word you use to best describe them after 3 weeks, and why?
Well, yeah, gentlemen, pleasure to visit with you. First, real quick, Falcons. I don't want to hear nothing about no pass interference, no call. You're talking to the wrong people.
True.
But the Saints were puzzling. Now, Gary Kubiak made hay the first two games, having free access to the edge either side of the defense. Well, oddly enough, someone decided, Philadelphia being them, to seal down the edges. Now, you would think Kubiak would think somebody's going to try to seal off the edges on this offense, but he had no counter move. They kept trying the same things. Try a little something different when somebody's cutting off the thing that worked the week before.
I also think, great job by Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, in that defense, because what we seen on Monday Night Football versus the Atlanta Falcons just was not it. They showed up and showed out yesterday, and they literally kept the Philadelphia Eagles in the ball game, and they missed some chippy ones. Derek Carr did at the quarterback position, so that's what I'll say about New Orleans.
Okay, I'll stay in that division when it comes to NFC South, because you notice this year, I have not called this South, S-O-U-F. You've gotten the TH back. Buccaneers before yesterday were an undefeated team. Saints were yesterday, they were an undefeated team. Panthers got a win. Maybe Bryce Young was the problem. I don't fully think so, but Andy Dalton, the red rifle, went in and did some things. But your Atlanta Falcons battle, boss, could have been very easy after having an early lead, and Kansas City takes it back. They could have pulled the all Faldo. They didn't do that. Now, like Mardi Gras Bob said, he's not trying to hear anything about a PI that should have been called in that third down situation.
Yeah, he cannot want to hear it, but he gonna definitely hear it.
He's like, look, that had nothing to play us against the Rams. It cost us a chance to go to the Super Bowl. He's not trying to hear about any kind of sob stories about Game 3 of the NFL season involving the Falcons. But I thought Kirk Cousins said it best. Yeah, we know what happened, but
there's just plenty I can point to that wasn't good enough to win this game tonight, but still felt like it was right there for us to win. And when you don't do it, it leaves you with a pretty sickening feeling. So that's life in this league. We got to build from it, and as we move forward now to the NFC South opponents here, we got to just figure out ways to be a better football team and be an ascending football team that plays complementary football off of each other. And certainly feel like we have the pieces we need to be successful, but there's obviously more out to go get to play better to be able to win more consistently.
Freddie, I think the one word to describe my team, Atlanta Falcons, is encouraged.
Okay.
Especially after seeing them on Monday Night Football and the way they competed last night. Now, I'm a person, I do not believe in moral victories. But what they showed me last night versus a team that has won back-to-back Super Bowl champions, and they have the best coach in the NFL, the best quarterback in the NFL, the best tight end in the NFL, they showed me something. And not to mention, they went down their two starting offensive linemen in center Drew Dahlman and offensive tackle Caleb McGarry. But some of the things that Kirk Cousins is talking about, you're going against Patrick Mahomes, you can't go 2 for 9 on third downs.
Absolutely.
And they did not possess the ball nowhere near as much as Kansas City did. It was, it was still lopsided. 34 minutes and 57 seconds for the Chiefs, 25 minutes and 3 seconds for the Falcons. It was more lopsided than that until the end. I think also they had an interception before halftime. They got to stop, got off the football field. They were able to get the football back, going down trying to get some cheap points before halftime. And an interception was thrown, but instead of Atlanta getting the points, Kansas City got the 3. When you're going against a team that's back-to-back Super Bowl champions, you can't give them gimmies right before halftime. I think also 4th and 1 at the end of the game. I don't believe in running the football east and west. You got to go downhill. If you're not going to go downhill, I would rather you throw it. You have a Kyle Pitts, you have a Drake London, but going east and west, I don't believe that was the best play call. Now, defensively, I would say this about Atlanta. They did a great job of containing for the most part.
They really did.
But they have to try at times to eliminate free access. And there was times where, Kansas City would line up in a bunch formation to the right side, and the numbers favored Kansas City. So Patrick Mahomes would just pick the football up and just throw it over there to him and have two blockers to block 2-on-2. And he was the third guy with no third guy defensively over there for Atlanta. Now that I get to that part and I say, hey, coaches, stop trying to make football hard. Andy Reid understands that football is football. It's not that hard. Make it simple. And that's all I seen the Kansas City Chiefs do last night. Take advantage of free access. They were going to force Patrick Mahomes to methodically work the football down the field. Using that too high shell, which Mel Kiper hates. But when you're playing a Patrick Mahomes, you're going to see it. And shout out to Justin Simmons getting the interception. When you're playing against Mahomes and he gives you a gift, you have to go down and you must get points. You have to capitalize off that. I can't even tell you how many times within the last 3 or 4 years I've seen teams, Super Bowl to be exact, the San Francisco 49ers get an interception versus Patrick Mahomes, but come up short and not get anything out of it. When you're playing a team that's this good, even though they didn't play their best football yesterday, you have to capitalize on the moments. Now, I didn't even get to the last part.
This ought to be good.
The